What's good, everybody? JT Sports here, back to you guys with another NFL free agency update. The Las Vegas Raiders have come to an agreement with star pass rusher Chandler Jones. We don't know the length of this deal. However, we do know that this contract is going to be paying Chandler Jones somewhere around $17 million per season. And for Chandler Jones, he is coming off a 10.5 sack season with the Arizona Cardinals. Not surprising to see him signing with another organization, because if you guys remember the situation between Chandler Jones and the Arizona Cardinals, they were at odds before the season started because Arizona was paying guys like J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins. And Chandler Jones is watching everybody else get paid, and he's like, hey, where's my money at? Like, I'm one of the best pass rushers of the past decade. Don't I deserve to get paid? Well, the reason why Arizona was hesitant to give him an extension was because at the time, before the season started, he was coming off a season-ending injury in 2020. So Arizona was skeptical when it came to giving him an extension because in their eyes, from their perspective, they were like, hey man, like, we want to see what you do this season coming off your injury. We want you to prove yourself because we want to make sure that we're investing the right money and the same player that we knew you were before the injury. So Chandler Jones comes back. He has 10.5 sacks last season, and him and Arizona don't come to terms on a new extension, and he's now going to be signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. And for the Las Vegas Raiders, what's happening with Yannick Ngakoue? Because when I first saw the news that Chandler Jones was signing with the Las Vegas Raiders, I was like, okay, this is going to be nice. You got Yannick, you got Max Crosby, and now you have Chandler Jones. And then 5 minutes later, news came out that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be trading away pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for Colts cornerback Rocky Ya-Sin. And I don't really know how to feel about this deal. Because, yes, Chandler Jones is a upgrade from Yannick Ngakoue, but it's not like Yannick Ngakoue was a slouch. Like, Yannick Ngakoue was a really, really good pass rusher. As a matter of fact, he had 10 sacks last season, and Yannick Ngakoue has had production wherever he has been. He's played for Minnesota, he's played for Baltimore, he's played for the Jags, he played for Las Vegas last season, and he's been productive at every stop. So, if you are an Indianapolis Colts fan and you're watching this, you are getting a very good pass rusher. Now, Yannick Ngakoue signed a 2-year deal worth $26 million last year in free agency with the Las Vegas Raiders. He currently has 1 year left of that deal. He will be a free agent next offseason. And going into this season, he has a $13 million cap hit, which I don't really think is that bad when you consider how good of a player Yannick Ngakoue is. On top of that, he's 26 years old, and this is kind of, why I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to this deal. Yes, Chandler Jones is an upgrade from Yannick Ngakoue. However, he's 32 years old. Yannick Ngakoue is 26 years old, and Yannick Ngakoue is somebody who normally you can rely on to have at least 8 sacks a season. Now, you look at Chandler Jones, every time Chandler Jones has played and he's been primarily healthy, he has been a double-digit sack guy. So, of course, you do upgrade. However, how long are you going to have Chandler Jones playing at a high level? How many years is Chandler Jones going to be able to keep up putting up double-digit sack seasons? Because you're giving away a guy who has been productive everywhere, who you can depend on to at least have 8 sacks. So for Chandler Jones, like, is he going to be able to keep up this production? Is Father Time going to catch up to him? Like, I'm just really skeptical because, like, I kind of have a hard time understanding why teams get rid of young players who are in the middle playing really good football, really productive. They decide to trade them away or get rid of them and bring in somebody in their place who is a little bit older. And yes, Chandler Jones is better than Yannick Ngakoue. I'm not debating that. However, Chandler Jones is 32 and Yannick Ngakoue is only 26 years old. So you get way more productive football years out of Yannick Ngakoue compared to what you might get out of Chandler Jones. We don't really know how many seasons Chandler Jones can keep this up with him getting up there in the older years of football age. However, with Yannick Ngakoue, you know, he still has around a lot of great seasons left. Now, when you look at Rock Ya-Sin, who the Las Vegas Raiders are acquiring in this trade from the Indianapolis Colts, Rock Ya-Sin was really solid for the Colts last season. This definitely is going to be an upgrade in that Las Vegas Raiders secondary with Patrick Graham taking over as the defensive coordinator. And the Raiders have had problems with the cornerback position over the last couple of seasons. They pretty much keep drafting and they keep on missing. So they have to continue to bring on corners and bring on defensive backs until they find some DBs and some cornerbacks that are actually good. Now, you do have Trayvon Mullen, who at the moment is the best cornerback on their roster. He has been their best cornerback for the past 2 seasons. You also have Nate Hobbs, who had a pretty solid rookie season for Las Vegas last season. So you bring in Rock Ya-Sin, this Raiders secondary should definitely be a little bit better going into 2022 compared to what it was last season, what it has been over the last couple of seasons. And now with a better secondary, you know, now you're going to help out your pass rush. And I kind of feel like the pass rush and the secondary can go hand in hand at times. You have a very good pass rush, it's going to, you know, decrease the amount of time that your corners have to guard these talented wide receivers. However, if you have a great secondary, it's going to allow your pass rushers more time to get pressure on the quarterback. So having a good pass rush, having a good secondary kind of goes hand in hand. And when you have both, you have a really good defense. So by bringing in Chandler Jones and trading for Rock Ya-Sin, the Las Vegas Raiders, they take one step in the right direction in terms of improving their defense. And their defense wasn't bad last year. Their defense kind of was like average, in my opinion. It definitely was the best defense that the Las Vegas Raiders have put on the field in well over a decade. So really interesting in seeing how this move works out for the Las Vegas Raiders. You're getting Chandler Jones. You're pretty much bringing him in to replace Yannick Ngakoue, who you traded to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for Rock Ya-Sin. And it's worth noting that Rock Ya-Sin had 8 pass deflections last season. I don't think he had an interception, but he was really productive for Indianapolis. I want to see how he's going to fit in Patrick Graham's scheme, because Patrick Graham, he's a really innovative defensive coordinator. And according to, you know, what former Giants players had to say about Patrick Graham's defensive scheme, it's not the easiest to grasp. It's a lot of concepts, a lot of, you know, things that you have to know before you can really go crazy in the defense or really start balling in the defense. So it's a really complex defense. So I'm eager to see how Chandler Jones and Rock Ya-Sin fit in Patrick Graham's defense. But this is it for this NFL free agency update. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I upload more breaking free agency news. And I appreciate you guys for watching.